Well, hello. It's your coach, the radiant superstar, Trisha Rayner Van Gogh. And oh my goodness, are we in for a treat for this week's Winning Wednesday? Look at who we have. We are interviewing our very first national sales director, our very own national sales director, Brigit Huyvaert.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
my
I'm
gosh.
honored to be talking with you today.
Yes, and we're honored to have you. Like I featured like a few director girlfriends in the past, but you're our first national. Oh my
I
gosh,
love it. I
we're
love
so
it. And
excited.
I just
So
love
welcome.
all of it. I love your little TV show here. I'm so
Yes,
excited.
yes, it's a Winning Wednesday. So welcome to Winning Wednesday, and this is where we just ask a few questions, and it gives
Yeah.
you an opportunity to really share your I story. So we're gonna dive right in. So tell us about you. Tell us about you, your family, your background, what you did prior to Mary Kay,
Okay.
anything. Listen, you're the national, so
Yeah.
you can
Oh my gosh.
whatever you want to share.
Well, I love that you have, going to ask me questions because I could just, passionately talk all day. And I know we don't have all day, but I could go on and on about this amazing opportunity and, what it's afforded my life, my family, the lifestyle, the people. I mean, so I kind of like that you keep me on track with a few questions. But essentially, my background, for those who've not heard, is it's forever ago now, but I was, kind of a new graduate out of college, and my degree was in social work. And boy, did it ever turn out to be in social. I didn't think it was going to be social with people, but not like what I thought it was going to be. So got married right out of college. And was actually in the theater. That's really was my passion and was going to be my career. But then, things evolve, and I had a baby right away. And so I got into the industry of my husband at the time was a personal, private professional tennis instructor. So I became a personal trainer. Then we decided to relocate to San Diego. And that's when the whole world opened up, because I do believe in divine intervention. And we were living in San Diego, Southern California. And I had, Cole was about 8 months old, I think. So I was in a brand new city, one car, didn't know a soul, had never even been to San Diego. And now I'm living there. So it was quite a culture shock too, because it was sunny all the time. And I was trying to figure out what to do. And lo and behold, I'm like, send me a sign. And the next day the phone rang and somebody had met my husband. And he said, well, give her a call. And she was a Mary Kay consultant and offered me a facial. And I was like, okay. Back then you answered your phone. There was no cell phone texting, all of that. And I was lonely. And, it's interesting because I heard, now here is 2024 and loneliness is an epidemic. Well, honestly, I was lonely because I left all my family friends. I left a pretty great career being a personal trainer. And so I was in front, knew a lot of people, and now to go to nothing, I didn't have any friends or family around me. And so I was lonely. And so I went, because I really wasn't interested in skincare or makeup at that time. But, thankfully that was the direction I was supposed to go, because, that was my first introduction. But really what got my attention was the career, because she was a nurse and I was looking for a career, and I love the product. Don't get me wrong, but I was really tuned in to her talking about, the business opportunity that she was doing part-time, but was going to be transitioning over and doing it full-time. And I didn't even know that you could do something like this full-time. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of how I got started. And her director thankfully followed up with me the very next day. So I would say the fortunes and the follow-up, that thankfully her executive called me and said, thank you for being at my consultant's party. And she wanted to come out and talk to me about the business side of Mary Kay. And that's when I was like, well, now that sounds interesting. And she drove an hour, Christine Peterson, to sit on my couch and tell me a little bit more about this wonderful opportunity. So that's how I got started.
Yay. And so you have some brothers, and you were raised on
Yes. Oh, yes,
In
yes,
the
yes, yes, yes. Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, a gravel road, literally a gravel road, and still a gravel road because I still like to drive out there. Occasionally. It's actually, if you ever saw the movie Witness, like with Harrison Ford, where it's just so beautiful farmland and
Mhm.
there's something beautiful. The air is so fresh out there. And it's, we're not a farmer, but my dad was an entrepreneur, but we lived, his home was a little red schoolhouse, which my grandfather attended. And he lived like a quarter of a mile up that gravel road, and they bought it. And my father bought it and my mom, and they turned it into a home. So he always lived on the same road. Can you believe it? And so he turned that schoolhouse into his home. And then of course they expanded and built, but it was in the middle of all these beautiful cornfields. And I had 27 people in my graduating class. So it
Wow.
took like 15 minutes, for everyone to graduate. So,
Wow. 27 in your class. Wow.
mhm,
Goodness.
yeah,
Wow.
little,
Wow.
little, little Waterman girl from Waterman, Illinois. Yeah, little country girl.
Waterman, Illinois. Wow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you kind of shared a little bit about it. And talking about, you were lonely and the opportunity found you and you said yes. But is there any other reason why you said yes?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was not lonely. I think I went to the party because I was like, gosh, this is kind of interesting. Maybe I'll go make some new friends. So the
Yeah.
loneliness part was more, I really went to the party because I was
Mhm.
invited to kind of like, I was invited to something, frankly.
Yes. Yeah.
But the reason I got my business started was absolutely because I wanted to provide I just wanted to provide an opportunity, like a lifestyle for my son, or not have to put him in daycare. um that, honestly too, I was looking for a career that I could do both, because it wasn't just because I was a mom, so I would tell even people that are single, it was a scalable business opportunity, and I saw the big picture. I wanted to travel, and who doesn't want to like create and buy your dream home, and these kinds of things. And so I really saw this as a viable business opportunity, not to come in and dabble at all. I came in to build it as a business. And so that's what I did. When she laid out the career plan, and she took me from the, part-time, the consulting part, all the way to the highest level national director. So when she came to my home that day, she didn't just talk about just selling the product and building customers. She shared the entire picture for me. And that's what I bought. I was like, that's what I
Mhm.
want. I want to go all the way. Um,
And you achieved it. And you did that. You're in the top
yes,
position in Mary Kay. We love it.
yes, yes, yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, what's your favorite Mary Kay memory? I know you have lots of them. And for those of you who don't know, this national sales director, she believes in the funny stories. But I know
Oh
you probably
gosh.
have
Yeah,
several
that,
of those. But what's
yeah.
your favorite Mary Kay memory?
Oh my gosh, that is such a hard question, because you're so true. I could do a whole hour on all the funny, funny things
Yes.
that have happened to me along the way. And, the goof ups, the mix ups, that's a whole another show. We'll do another show
Yes.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
But
Okay.
because it can give people hope too. I mean, people putting on, back then we had a yellow concealer, and I said, okay, everyone put your foundation on, and one lady put the yellow, and I turned around and she looked like a lemon. I'm like, oh my gosh, to the goo. I go, well, she goes like this. I don't think it's my color. And we just died laughing, because I go, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm giving people the wrong product, and I was on the wrong formula. I mean, it was a scream. So I really have had a lot of fun, funny stories
Mhm.
that
You're
is
the
just,
queen of funny stories.
oh my gosh. I mean, doing events, as I became a director, then my director would come in once a month and we would do events. And she'd come in, and we'd bring all of our special guests and unit members to meet her. And I remember one time the room that we booked, somehow the hotel messed up, and they go, no, we don't have a room. And we go, oh my gosh, we have to scramble. And so we did it at one of our consultants says, well, I have a party room in my complex. And we literally had to last minute say, okay. And then you get on the phone. There's no send it out on Facebook. You had to call everyone.
Right.
Here's the new address. And it was in her kind of party room in this complex. So there we were doing, everything was going well. We have this executive director who's making all this money and traveling the world. And we were all dripping in diamonds and glammed out. And then all of a sudden, and it was a breakfast. So it was 9 o'clock to 11. Well, our national, Christine, was finishing the business plan filled with guests. And all of a sudden the pool opened for the residents and for the people that lived there. And out walks kind of a scrawny, skinny, I always think of it like Notting Hill, the movie with Julia Roberts, where the guy came out and he was real scrawny and he was going like this. He walks out and he was like all pasty white and he had a Speedo, a tight fitting Speedo swimming suit. And all of a sudden we're like this and we're watching him. And Christine keeps going with the marketing plan like nothing happened. And all of a sudden he goes like this on the diving board. And he dives in the pool and the water splashes up and they're screaming and with our people, they're getting wet.
God.
And all the guests were looking and we signed up a bunch of people, but I will never forget that. We laughed so hard because they go, well, the show must go on.
Right.
And, so that was kind of funny, but I think the biggest memory, traveling the world has been crazy, but probably scaling the Great Wall of China, I think was my favorite trip because it's like, you know, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. You can see it from space. And Mary Kay literally, like, I don't want to say rented, but she rented, like everyone else had to leave. And it was just the Mary Kay Nationals and their guests. And then they had tiki torches at the base of one part of the Great Wall. And you could scale it, you could walk it, you don't have to go at all. You could do a few pictures. And then they had food. The banquet was like hundreds and hundreds of feet of food, live music. They had this huge, beautiful Hollywood kind of commode where we could use the facilities. And we just kept going and you would go up 13 towers and then you know, I go, yay, we made it. And you're above the clouds. And then, oh my gosh, there's more. So when we got halfway up, I thought, how can I not go all the way? So I got all the way up to the top, made it only 13 of us, which is interesting because it was on September 13th, the 50th anniversary year. And yeah, we got to the top and then, you know, it was like kind of like it was a really big moment for the nationals that made it. So that I think that was, I don't know, you know, becoming a national, doing the kick. There's just so many, but
there's so many, right? Because you've done a lot in these. How many years have you been in America?
So I've been a national 17 years and in the business 38 years. I have to go like how old my son is to figure out.
Right.
Years maybe, which is it's been a blur. Yeah.
Yeah. So 17 plus years because you earned top directors trips, but 17
yes.
travel on Mary Kay.
Yes. My first trip was Switzerland. I remember we had lunch at the highest revolving restaurant in the world. I'd never even been out of the country. I mean, I would go to we would go to in the Midwest, you go to, you know, like Wisconsin Dells, or you go to Florida. That's a big trip. And then when we lived in San Diego, you know, we'll go to, you know, Disneyland, but never out of the country. And that was really something. Yeah. To get on that big, like, I can't remember. It was like Swiss Air. It was Swiss Air. That was the airline.
Oh.
And yeah. So that was quite something. Oh, my little dog's barking. Sorry. It was like live TV.
Yes.
Come here, girl. So that's, I know. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
He's a little under the weather, and so we'll
letting you know.
I know. She's let me know there's something going on. So we'll keep going, and if not, I'll grab her and.
Okay. All right. Cool. So lots of Mary Kay memories in 38 years. Wow.
Yes.
Like really, like you guys, we could really sit at the feet of this national and hear all these stories of all these trips and all these funny stories, especially. Of course, I have my personal favorite about your first trip coming home from seminar. Like, oh my God,
you're so funny.
Yes, that's my favorite. It is my favorite.
You always like no matter where we are, you want me
Yeah,
to tell that story. You're so funny.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah, yeah,
Walk it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what's your next big Mary Kay goal?
Oh my gosh.
Even as a
My next
national
goal,
child.
honestly, is I really want, because I'm closing out to the last, of my journey, which seems so crazy. So as a national sales director, we sell our businesses back. Um, so I'm going to grab the little baby. She's right there. And then
Absolutely.
because otherwise I am so
Got it.
sorry, but you
Nope,
know,
you're good. Go right
she's,
ahead.
yeah, I'll be right back. Come here, Maddie. Come here.
You guys, while she's doing that, I just want to share with you, when you reach the top position in Mary Kay as a national sales director, it is a 5-star trip, all expenses paid, and I believe $10,000 spending cash for you and your guests. And so I think now they changed the rules a little bit, and you can bring a guest, but
Yeah.
before it had to be your spouse. But now I think you can bring like a family member. So some of the nationals have been taking their family members. But is it still $10,000 spending cash national?
Yeah, I mean, there's all the,
Normally,
yeah,
normally, when they
yeah,
normally.
yeah, yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, these are pretty extensive because you look at your little tax return and it's like,
Right,
these are like $20,000 trips, for
right,
you, 17, 18,000, because it's usually 7, 8 star hotels. And
right.
so they're quite something. And that's been
Oh, yes.
probably one of the things that inspired me the most was the trips to build my business, was to see the world. My mom passed away when she was very young and I was 13. And I always felt like I've been given this opportunity and I'm going to live it big. Like I want to go do what she never got to do, which was travel the world. And so I always carry her pink knitted sweater. Can you believe it? My fate was sealed years ago because she knitted in
Mhm.
the 50s a pink sweater. And so I take that on
Right.
every trip because I just feel like she's with me and I'm living life that, maybe she never got to do.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I went off on a tangent there, but basically travel was always is something that inspired me, and so how that works is when I was a director like Latricia, is you're helping your people earn cars, become directors, and that creates volume. So it's like a retail revenue, it's a revenue. And when you achieve 650,000 in revenue retail, then they honor the director with a fantastic trip. And so honestly, my first trip, I was just helping 5 women earn their car. And
Right.
by them doing that, then I was like, oh my gosh, I looked at our numbers and I go, wow, we're close to, the trip. Let's do it. And that's how that worked. So,
Yeah.
but the
And it
travel,
happens just like that sometimes. It
yeah,
really does. So it's this business is just so rewarding. There's so many different things that bring people joy, and travel for a lot of people is really, really big. Like a
it
travel
is.
business is really booming right now.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
but
Yeah.
there's nothing like free travel on someone else's dime for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The company's, it's amazing because they send you whatever trip you're going on, whatever theme. It's usually a theme. So, like in China, it was a red um, leather portfolio to put your passport and all your, goodies. And they give you cash, ahead of
Yes.
time so that if you want to get something to eat at the airport, they take care of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And your luggage tags, because it says NSD and you put it on your luggage. And so then when you get to your destination, they hire and they prepay and tip handlers from that country. They're waiting for the Mary Kay Nationals. And so it's very posh. You feel very like movie star. And then these handlers come and you point out your luggage and then they load them on these carts and take them to your hotel. In some cases, you don't see your luggage again until it's in your room or on the ship.
Mhm.
It's very shishi. And so you get all your luggage tags and cash and, it's just fun. And then you get to pick excursions where throughout that week, they'll give you different things, cooking school or, go on. I remember in China, we went to the Hutong and it was one of these it was like a little town and that people, a Chinese family opened their home for us to go in. We took rickshaws. So they hired rickshaw drivers. They're like it's a bicycle and you're like in a cart and they took us all over. That's how we got around this little town. And they took us to this family's private home. I just couldn't believe it. And we got to do calligraphy. We did like an art project at their kitchen, in their kitchen, or on their patio.
Wow.
That actually was on their patio. And it was so interesting to walk in and see their little shoes. They were at the door, and like we got to see how they lived, and it was just really remarkable. And so that was really fun. And then they took us to a place to eat. And I remember they had a special little gal. She was a little vendor, and she rode her bike and she sold her goods, and she'd follow us everywhere. And of course, Tom and I could not stop. We couldn't say no to her. Fans and chopsticks and those most beautiful fans, like just little silk bags and purses. And we just kept buying from her because I thought, gosh, here she is smiling and riding a bike and selling and collecting money. And we just loved her so much. And then we would thank her. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, she'd find us. It's like she went home to get more inventory and come back to find us. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, well, she really knows the power of inventory. And we just kept buying. And then finally we said, in fact, whenever I tell the story, Tom gets choked up. And he gets choked up, and she's on our wall. We have a whole wall of all of our travels, and she's on it. And I said, oh no, thank you. And we just gave her like a $50 bill or something. We just said, this is just for you. We can't even carry it all. And then she went like this. I got the chills right now. And she was just like, and then she dug in her bag to the very bottom, and she pulled out the most beautiful fan. I still have it. It's in my little glass cabinet. And you could tell that she probably could have got a lot of money for that. And then she just gave it to us. I mean, it was we didn't know how to speak Chinese and her English, but that's the power of, you can speak the language.
Yes.
Right.
Love is universal.
Yes. And that was probably one of my favorite stories, now that you mentioned it, in Mary Kay. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow. Wow. So let's talk to consultants. So 3 sets of consultants: a new consultant, a seasoned consultant, and a consultant that wants to lead into leadership. Like, what nuggets would you have for a new consultant, for starters?
Okay. So the new consultant, I would say first and foremost is try not to listen. Well, don't listen to any naysayers or anybody that sometimes other people's fears or what they think that it may not be something that they would do, then they try and give you, oh, well, you've got a degree in sales or marketing, you should do, people love to sometimes, not always, but sometimes they think they are, they're not really supporting the people you think are going to really jump on your team, maybe won't. And then, so don't listen to anyone that, take advice from successful people. And so I took advice from my director, my executive. I listened to people who had vested interest in me, because I'm like, even sometimes your husband or your partner, unless they've heard the business plan, they're thinking, wait, what? You're a lawyer and now you want to sell makeup? They don't understand. So I also the first thing that happened is I had my husband hear the marketing plan. That was step one. And that was it. So, show them, the business plan, and then put your plan together with your director and stick to it. Even when you don't see the evidence, it takes a little bit. You're building a business. And so it takes time, and don't give up too soon. So that's for the new people,
Okay. All right. And now for a seasoned consultant, like they've been around for a while and they are just like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. What advice would you give?
So for the seasoned consultant, the only thing that happened if you're stalled out is you lost your why, you lost your compelling reason. And I would go back to, what is your compelling reason? Because when any woman or man, but definitely us women, when we get on a mission, that's why they say a woman on a mission, which we haven't heard in years, that there's something to that. Is, my why in the beginning was to provide a great life for my child, but then it became, the travel. Like you have to have, what is your compelling reason? Like that you have to have it. This has to happen. And, and then you have to keep it in front of you, because when you work for yourself, you don't have a boss. That was my boss, was my compelling reason why. And
Mhm.
so when you lose your way, is because you lost your why. And you
Mhm.
lost that's what happened. When you lose your way,
Good.
you lost your why. And so if you get back to what has to happen, and if it may be that you want to rent the most beautiful lake home on the water and have all your family come and stay there on you, it may be taking them on a dream vacation, taking your mother on vacation, it might be the dream Louis Vuitton bag, I don't know. But usually it's something that has power with your family. I find most people, their family, or is pretty compelling. So go back to your compelling reason, or maybe if it's been a few years, you need a new one. You need new vision.
Mhm.
And that really gets me on track. And I mean, literally, and I usually have it around my house, like pictures of what my next thing that
Mhm.
that we have to do, and visualizations, everything. And then just taking action. And I will say this about the people that, are just kind of existing, or just kind of like existing,
Mhm.
your why, but then also you might have to try a new approach, because you might be bored and you're boring, frankly, because you're boring, because you're bored and you're just, well, I'm just doing what you might have to change it up. You might have to go, Tony Robbins says that if it's not working, change your approach. So I would
Yep,
say that to
absolutely.
that group. And then
Mhm.
what was the third group?
The third group are the building consultants, those who want leadership, want to earn a car or become a director,
Do
and
it
maybe even
fast.
become a
I
national.
got right away. Do it fast. Stop delaying, because the longer you take, the longer you'll take. And, we work better on deadlines. And
Yes.
so just like when you're going to lose weight before the reunion, it's like you go into action and suddenly the pounds are off
Yep.
before whatever. That's an example. Or before you're going to be in a wedding, like your child's getting married. I see all the moms, this always happens. They look like svelte and in that dress, to
Yep.
walk down the aisle, for
On
their
that day,
child.
on that big
And
day.
right. And so that's an example of, I know you can do that. And so, like for instance, seminars around the corner, it's a great time to just finish it off, be in the pink suit. It looks like a Chanel, and finish it up for our national area, our family. And, but, have a sense of urgency, because then other people feel it. See, if they think that you're just fooling around and you're just going to be doing this, then they don't have a sense of urgency to buy from you, register with you as a consultant, or take you seriously. But women, when women are on a mission, like, she needs me. Oh, I can tell this is important. I got to do this now. But that comes
Absolutely.
from you. And so I would say have a sense of urgency, no playing around. You're always going to have distractions. They're going to it's never going to end. So you might
Right.
as well just work through the distractions and get that 8 or 10 active, get your JIQ and finish it in 2 months, because
Right.
people finish in a month anyway. So why take
Mhm.
why drag it out? So I always say fast is better. Slow is nearly impossible, because then you keep
Absolutely.
starting over. Yeah.
Exactly. And like my mom always told me, do it and do it right the first time, and you won't have to do it again, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Those were great tips of advice for a new consultant, a seasoned consultant, a building consultant. Any tips for directors in this
Yes.
season?
Oh my gosh, yes. I always say, you expose everybody to, you just, okay, all levels of consultants. You don't have to recruit everyone and sell everyone, but you want to expose everyone to
Mhm.
what we do, and that's okay. Your job is to talk to a lot of people and let the cream rise. The same as a director. Expose everyone to the leadership opportunities. Don't, no one died and left you in charge to decide if well, she's busy right now, so I don't want to talk to her about direct. No, you have to let everybody know that you believe in them and that you know that they can do this, and tell them why they would be good as a director, or as a team builder, or as a star recruiter. And so looking for those superstars. And when I'm out, still to this day, I'm looking for the 9s and the 10s. And what do I mean by that? Everybody's, we're all great. We all have great, um, you know, uh, pearl skills and things that we do well, but I look for go-getters. I look for people that they smile, they're people oriented, they're go-getters. They they're people oriented, or they have quiet confidence. But I would just say, you never stop growing your personal team members, because it's through your personal team members that you will find the leaders. And you're also the speed of the leader, speed of the gang, as Mary Kay always said. So I was always looking for directors and always looking for the next superstar to be on my team.
Absolutely. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so, looking for the next superstar. We're looking for the next superstar.
Yes.
I think I shared that with someone recently. Like, who is it? Who is it going to be? Like, we're always our job. I remember Christine used to say, a director's job is to recruit, 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 and grow your organization.
That's
And
right.
so many people look at the small side of this. This is actually a whole empire that you can
Yeah.
build, and you built an amazing empire. And
Yeah, and I do want to say, if you play small, you're going to get small. If you shoot big and you play big, you're going to get big results. And so it is definitely a mindset. And I'm like, why not think big? Like, just take even though you're thinking, think bigger. You're not like, think so huge. If you couldn't fail, what would you do? And, I think probably a lot of you know your answer. And so don't allow whatever it is, distractions, or, and the only way you get confident is repetition. Do your reps every day. Reps every day are your posts, your reels, your warm chat, your conversations, because the more conversations you have, the better you get. And the more presentations you do and Zooms, that's the only way that you ever overcome a lack of confidence, especially with the technology world. Even myself, I'm still learning, and I go, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to figure this out. Okay, what do I need to do to clean this up? Because Mary Kay even did that. She heard about the computer years ago, and she goes, I better learn this computer because I think maybe my Salesforce could benefit from it. And so I'm the same. I'm a master at, right now I'm on a big, kick learning about Instagram, social media. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone of even making videos and posting. And I will tell you this just super fast is just do it. Even if it's not perfect, even if you're like, oh, I'm having a bad hair day or my makeup, forget it. People want real authenticity and messy. And if it's just kind of like me, now the dog was barking because at first now 10 years ago, I would have been horrified, like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, people want, this is life. Yeah, my dog's a little under the weather today, but this is a huge, important, thing I wanted to do for all of you. But so people like that. So it's okay when you're doing things, if it's not perfect. And, I think if we let that go, you're going to have even more business drawn to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Well, you have just given us so many nuggets and dropped so much knowledge on us today. And so my final bonus secret question is, so just so you guys know, before I ask her this question, she's married to Dr. Tom, and she calls him Mr. Wonderful. So the surprise or the secret question is, what do you and Dr. Tom like to do when you're not working, when he's not cracking back? So even though
yes.
When he's not working and when you're not working, when you're refueling, what's your favorite thing to do?
Oh, I love that question. Thank you. He's remarkable, and he's an acupuncturist and chiropractor and all of that good stuff. And so we love going out and listening to live music. I will say we do love our wine, and I know not everyone drinks, and that's okay. But let me just say this about the wine. He actually really we're really into like, oh, the tastings, and we're into that
Yeah.
part of the wine. It's not like, let's have some wine. It's just like,
Right.
he really just enjoys wine with his dinner. He's very European that way. So it's
Right.
kind of more of a European thing, not like, oh, let's, so we love that. We love going to see our granddaughter. We just went and saw both of them, but had starring roles in the theater, Shrek and then Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
We're very social. Of course, he loves golf. I mean, I know I'm giving you like 8,000 questions, but we're getting ready to, this year, there's not a Mary Kay National trip. We got cash instead. And so
Yay.
we're going to go to Amsterdam in Belgium because Tom is Belgium. That's his roots. And we're going to we're connecting with all the Huyvaerts, in
Wow.
Belgium and Ghent. And
Yeah.
we're going to get little motor scooters and cruise around,
Yeah.
on the motorized, I'm kind of adventurous. So I'm excited about that.
I
Um,
can't imagine, really. No, I'm
I
just
know,
joking.
I know. And then
You
Amsterdam,
know
and then
you're very adventurous.
yeah, and we're having some family fly in and out, and some, and then we're going to finish in Amsterdam. So we like to enjoy life. We work, it's the same thing. I think we talked about this with you, Latricia. We work hard, we play hard. And I will end on this. I will tell you that my executive national told me long time ago when I was a consultant, she said, and it came true. She said, play now. She goes, if you pay now, meaning pay the price, and I don't, that's not a negative, meaning that if you work while you can, if you pay now, you're going to get to play later.
Yes.
But if you play around and get distracted and take forever and get going and then take breaks, and she goes, then you're going to pay for it later in life.
Yes.
And she was right.
He was.
Is so just do the work, um, change lives, work hard. But even while I was building to national, we would take chunks and we would go as a family apple picking, in the mountains, and we would take Cole and go to Dana Point for the weekend. So while I was getting to national, I was really working, but then we would go play. And so that now that's what we like to do. And we're planning our relaunch. What are we going to do?
Yes.
When I sell my business back to Mary Kay. And so we just like to have a good time. We love to cook, specifically him. And I don't know. I know that was like 5,000 answers to your question.
No, this is great because it's like it's all about lifestyle. And you've taught us that all these years. It's all about lifestyle. So you've created this wonderful life and this lifestyle, and you're about to even take it to another level.
Yes.
In a few years, we're going to make sure we have you for a few more years.
I know. Well, we're going to play hard every month, and every month
Yes.
counts. And I will tell you that because I don't know quite when, but we're going to keep working.
Yeah.
And I'm encouraging as many people watching, my legacy is all of you. You're my Mary Kay family. You're going to be with me forever and ever, even when I'm, relaunched and an emeriti. I will never, ever give up on my Mary Kay Women of Action family, but I want to see you while I'm here, in the pink suit or in the beautiful national suit, or, the queen. We're looking for some queens.
Yes.
Crown. I want to put the crown on somebody. So whatever your goals are, and one final thought on that, or if you're a part of a team, you're important to us too. So if you're a star consultant every quarter, or you're doing your 30 phases, all of it counts towards the bigger vision of, the incredible Women of Action national area.
Awesome. Wow. As I return to this screen one last time, wow, it's been a complete joy to receive all these nuggets. I've got notes, even myself today, because you've just shared so much with us, just a sneak peek into your life and how you work, and just how you have just been such an inspiration to so many. And we thank you for that. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and jumping on here with me today. And oh my gosh, Radiance Nation, I know that you're excited to kind of learn a little bit more about your
Yes.
national today.
I
So
love the Radiant Stars. Like,
yes, and we
oh my
love our national sales director,
gosh.
Brigit Huyvaert.
Oh my gosh. Thank
Thank you
you. Thank you.
again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
No,
so
thank
proud of
you.
all of you. Keep up the great work. And I know we're going to celebrate Party Hardy in at seminar.
Yes. So, with that being said, we're going to close on that note. With that being said, thank you, National, for another awesome time with you. Like, I know this one probably will have the most views. I promise you. I
Oh,
bet. I just see it coming. It's going to have the most views because they get to see the national. And so thank you for being our first national on Winning Wednesday. We appreciate you for taking time out of your schedule. And so to you, Radiance Nation, wasn't this amazing? Oh my gosh. Send me your feedback and your takeaways from what you learned from our amazing national today. So until later, we'll talk to you soon.
love you.
Love you more.